Hello. Welcome back. I want to cover another thing that we did at Creativation this year, and it was called Product Palooza. Now, last year they started it, but it was called Mardi Gras Social because we were in New Orleans, but it was a big success, and the board members and the employees at NAMTA wanted to carry this forward year after year, and they decided to choose a name that we could keep all the time. So they went with Product Palooza. Has nothing to do with my name, but I love the name, obviously. So what it is, it started off as a way for creative professionals such as me to connect more closely with some of the vendors. And so the night before the showroom floor opens, you have this room and there are tables all around where the vendors are, and we get a punch card and we go and we visit each one and get a punch. And we talk to them. We can hand our business cards. Some of them have free samples, not always. I mean, that's not necessarily the focus of the event, but it is to make the connection and see if we can maybe get a mutually beneficial relationship. This year they decided to also open it up to retailers, but it is a limited first come, first serve basis, and you had to actually purchase a ticket to attend. So this is what I got from the event. I'm going to work backwards and put everything in here as I show it. And I really should have just kept everything in order that I went through at the tables. The first vendor there was Crafty, which is an easel system that seems very lightweight and portable, but very sturdy. And so they gave us a demo, and that is their flyer there. So Craft Geek and their Inspire easel stand. And then Silver Brush Company gave us this fun bag here with, almost looks like a wine bottle bag, and information and their email. And in there is included, we have 3 brushes. They had some really cool water containers. We ended up going to their booth several times to look at these. You know, they're collapsible ones. And so they have information here and that's great. And their QR codes and what a beautiful apron. Now, how cool is that? Now, I personally love color, and I love how this really pops on that black. It is beautiful. Thank you so much for that. So I will put this back in there. And then this one was a marker company, and wouldn't you know, I am disassociating right now as to what marker company this was, and this is on canvas. Next up, let's look at this. PBO, which had this really fun, I mean, it's just a notepad, but I love grid, and that is really fun. And they had little flyers here. This is their new product called Colorex, which are aqua oil watercolor inks. So watercolors in a jar plus a watercolor marker that can be refilled with that ink bottle. And that was their new product they had there. Plus they gave us these, which I bring extra Ziplocs when I go with me to Creativation because I never know how I'm going to get liquids home. And yes, so, and this is their Origin High Acrylic High Viscosity Rose Vivid Pink. Looks beautiful. So this is all, that was from PBO. And this is from Deco Art. They did have some, you could paint something while you were there if you wished to. This is a little make and take at the Art Esprit Sublimation. And this is the silhouette, basically, of Seattle. Now, this was Sizzix, and Eileen Hull had this, which was part of her new little art wheel release. And we put these on our lanyards, but it wanted to kind of cover my name up, so I had to take that off. Now, Chroma Paint, this is their, they call it their mural paint and markers color chart here. And just their craft colors there, glitter paint, etc. So what they did, we did these little in their stamping out in their with their paint, and we did that in their little their table. So this is glitter paint, which I believe it's the turquoise that I used here. There is some glitter there. This is the mural paint in Peacock, and this is light fast acrylic paint craft color. Look at that. I love that color. This always reminds me of spring, and those three colors together are beautiful. Now I think I will put these back in here just to keep them safe. All right, and M Creator J. This is embroidery kits. It says nature-inspired embroidery kits for modern makers. So they are based in Seattle, which is where we were. So it says peel off the backing, place it on the front of the fabric, embroider it, and then wash away with warm water. So all you have to do is just embroider these patterns and wash them away. Aren't those cute? That would make a really cute project. So the other thing I thought was really interesting, there was this company called Milan, and they had, I will show you a little bit more from their booth in one of my upcoming videos. They had mechanical pencils and a lot of office type supplies, but they also had this beautiful line that I fell in love with because they are my craft room colors. And I said, oh my gosh, those are my craft room colors. And he handed me this pen. Now, I love this. They have a whole set of office supplies in this color line. I definitely have to see where I can, now they're from Spain, but I've got to find out where I can get some of their products because their stuff is so cute. Look, it even matches my magnetic board. Now, one more thing that we got from them, and that is that Craft Express. Actually, I'm gonna have to move this out of the way. Craft Express had these glitter tumblers, and they had a list of everyone who had signed up to attend this event, and they pre-sublimated this 75th anniversary for NAMTA on the tumbler with the Seattle skyline on here. You see the needle right there. But they also had sublimated everybody's names who was in attendance. When you went up to their table, they would put your sublimated name on there and run this through their hot machine there for tumblers and do this for us. And so we got a metal straw, little rubbery pad on the bottom. These are amazing. They are metal lined, absolutely fabulous. I couldn't be more tickled because I just love all things sparkly. How fun is that? So that is the Product Palooza. Also, they had hors d'oeuvres there. I mean, the whole thing was just so wonderfully put together. Thank you to all the companies for showing up and for all these products. So looking forward to using them and seeing you next year in St. Louis.